Education doesn't just prepare veterans for their next job, it can shape the next chapter of their lives. For Army veteran Ted Esparza, higher education began as a way to advance his military career, but it quickly became something more. With the support and guidance of National University, Ted discovered a passion for learning, building a strong foundation for success well beyond the uniform.
Basically, after 9/11, I made up my mind and I knew I was going to go talk to a recruiter. Growing up in the culture and watching my father do it first, I felt a sense of duty. I ended up in the recruiter's office and they gave me a few different options for a job. Right from the beginning of my career, I did psychological operations and I was lucky enough to do that for 20 years. I promised myself, when I was 18, I was going to come out of this military thing with at least my undergraduate. That was my goal. It wasn't until later in my career I went ahead and I got my associates. And the only reason why I really did that at the time, to be honest with you, is just to stay competitive for promotion. I had a few different reasons for pursuing the master's. The first one being I knew I still had the tuition assistance money. The second reason was I knew I was going to enter a civilian workforce that was unfamiliar to me. And if I'm entering into an arena that is completely unfamiliar to me, I definitely want to be as prepared as I can be. So I just got online and I started doing my research. For me, National University was a good fit. For my master's degree, I did strategic communication. With my background in psychological operations, I felt like it fit perfectly. I could tell people all day long I've had 20 years experience in psychological operations doing X, Y, and Z, and that may or may not translate. But without really saying anything, I can tell somebody I've got a master's in strategic communications and they kind of get it. For me, it brought a lot of focus into my life and it gave me another goal to pursue. I did have a harder time, transitioning than I thought I was going to because I lost my identity. I was doing something for 20 years, from the time I was 18 years old. And even though the transition is coming, your retirement date is coming, when it first hits, it's euphoric, it's celebratory, and then you give it a month and then it turns weird. At least it did for me. It kind of turned weird. So having the professors touch base with, having the classes to log into, at least if nothing else, I knew I had a goal, that I was still aspiring to achieve. To me, it was helpful. At National University, for the whole program, I definitely enjoyed the mix of the students. We had about a 50-50 split. There was a lot of military, and everybody, when they weigh in on their experience, whether it's military or civilian, I found a lot of value in that. And it opened my eyes, to a lot of things that I never really thought about or I never really considered. The National University professors were great. There were 2 or 3 that really stood out that I felt like went, above and beyond. And I'm still in touch with them to this day. We connected on LinkedIn. They told me if I ever needed anything to reach out. And I know that they were sincere when they said it. And there were also a couple times I was still on active duty when I started the program. So things would come up here and there. And they were always understanding and able to work with me. So during the transition itself, that helped me. So far, I haven't come out of pocket for any of my education, which has been great. It was either covered by tuition assistance or my post 9/11 bill money. And then there was the Rudisill decision. Essentially, if you paid into the GI Bill program, you can ask the VA to do essentially a records review. I was granted my GI Bill money, or at least a year of my GI Bill money back. So, with that money, that afforded me, the ability to continue to go to school, and that's what I'm using for my doctorate right now. The doctorate I'm pursuing now, it's in business administration, and basically, it's gonna just allow me to continue to pursue my passion, which is hopefully being able to make organizations more efficient. And then, on the other hand, I always want to keep the door open to continue to teach. I found that to be a true passion of mine. For any veteran that is thinking about, pursuing education, just lean into it. And it's going to probably feel weird at first, if it's been a while since you've gone to school like it was for me. And I feel like I've said this 100 times, but the hardest part is just getting started. I feel like once people, commit to something, they want to see it through. You just got to keep showing up, and as long as you keep showing up, I think you'll get there.
For more information, visit nu.edu.